So, what happens when you take a cynical, rain-soaked detective and just drop him headfirst into a world of ancient Gothic horror? Today, we're going to break down how the short story Hardboiled Stakes in the Fog pulls off this brilliant trick. It masterfully fuses two completely different genres into one totally unforgettable story.
And right off the bat, the story sets up this incredible tension. On one side, you've got your classic hard-boiled detective. You know the type. Rainy city, a trusty 38, the whole 9 yards. And on the other side, the Gothic vampire. We're talking ancient evil, dark power, stolen blood. But here's the kicker. The one thing they have in common? Neither of them trusts a single soul. And that shared cynicism? It becomes the perfect, combustible ground for these two worlds to just slam into each other.
Okay, so let's start by grounding ourselves in the detective's world. We meet Mr. Mallory, a PI who has seen absolutely everything and believes in, well, basically nothing. His entire world is built on a foundation of pure, unadulterated skepticism. And this quote, it just perfectly sums him up. When the name Van Helsing is dropped in his office, his mind doesn't leap to legends or monster hunters. Nope, it goes straight to cheap tobacco. It's not just disbelief you see, it's a complete and total dismissal, something that's just rooted in the grime and grit of his very real, very rational world.
So what are the rules in Mallory's world? Well, they're tangible, they're logical, and honestly, they're pretty bleak. The window's cracked, the city is sick, and evil? That's a human problem you solve with a bullet. When he's shown 2 bodies drained of blood, his brain immediately goes to coincidence. There's just no room for superstition when you're trying to make rent.
This right here, this is Mallory's armor. It's pure sarcasm. When he hears the word vampires, this is his defense mechanism kicking in. To him, the boogeyman is about as real as a client who pays on time, which is to say, not real at all. His reality is defined by its limits, and monsters are way, way outside of them. But just as we're getting comfortable in Mallory's smoky office, boom! The story yanks us into a completely different world. A world of ancient legacies, dark secrets, and a threat that has literally crossed an ocean just to feed.
Now this is the first piece of evidence that just doesn't fit into Mallory's logical little box. We're not talking about a couple of weird murders in San Francisco. This is a pattern, a trail of breadcrumbs that leads all the way from Europe, culminating in a ghost ship just showing up in the harbor. These are not the actions of your everyday criminal.
And here, Van Helsing gives us the philosophical core of the whole Gothic genre. The idea that this ancient evil, it isn't just some force of nature. It survives because people, ordinary people, allow it to. They serve it, they worship it, they invite it into their homes. The big idea is that monsters need us to survive.
And this timeline really shows us how high the stakes are. This isn't a new case. 30 years ago, Van Helsing and his friends thought they had ended this thing for good. But evil, as he points out, is persistent. That letter 2 weeks ago, that was the alarm bell. And the bodies on the docks? Well, that's proof that an old war has found a brand new battlefield.
So you can just feel it, right? These two opposing worldviews are on a collision course. And that collision happens in a dark, dusty warehouse on the San Francisco docks. This is the moment where Mallory's entire reality is about to be tested by fire, or in this case, by darkness. And here it is, the confrontation. Mallory does what he always does. He pulls his 3/8 special, the great equalizer in his world. But the Count's reaction? It's not fear, it's amusement. How very charming. With just one line, the detective's most powerful tool is reduced to nothing more than a quaint little toy. The power dynamic has just completely flipped on its head.
Mallory's response is pure, hard-boiled instinct. It's the only logical move in his playbook. When a threat shows up, you pull the trigger. Simple, reliable, cause and effect. Or so he thought.
And with those 2 words, the fundamental rule of the hard-boiled genre is just shattered. The gun fires, the bullets hit their mark, but the monster doesn't fall. In that single impossible moment, the most reliable thing in the detective's entire world is rendered completely useless. In just a few seconds, Mallory witnesses a whole series of impossible events. His bullets might as well be pebbles. The steel of his gun is bent like it's soft taffy, and he sees a simple silver cross burn this creature's skin like a hot iron. There is no logical way to explain any of this. His entire worldview is being systematically dismantled right before his eyes. And this is Mallory's beautiful internal monologue describing that shift. Belief isn't a light switch you can just flick on and off. No, it's a crack in a dam. He's been holding back this impossible river of truth, and in that warehouse, the dam finally breaks. This is the moment the two genres truly become one, right inside our protagonist.
So, what happens now? Mallory's skepticism is shattered, and he's staring down an undeniable, supernatural truth. A new hunt begins, but this one is going to require a whole new set of rules, a blend of the detective's pragmatism and the scholar's ancient knowledge.
And you can see right here how they're both forced to adapt. Mallory, our detective, has to trade his trusty gun and his skepticism for a ruined piece of metal and his terrifying new belief. And Van Helsing, the scholar, he has to leave his books and his solitude behind for teamwork and direct action. They are both pushed completely out of their comfort zones.
I absolutely love this line. Mallory doesn't waste time on some big existential crisis. He accepts the impossible fact and immediately pivots. What's the play? He's still a detective at heart. He's just applying his problem-solving mindset to a problem that's, well, a few centuries older and a lot harder to kill than he's used to.
And Van Helsing provides the playbook. See, this isn't just random monster mashing. It's a real strategy. It's a systematic, almost detective-like approach to dismantling a supernatural threat. They're going to hunt his safe houses, destroy his connection to his homeland, and cut him off from his network. It's like a Gothic ritual presented as a police procedural.
And this really hammers home how much the rules of engagement have changed. The old way, the noir way, was to arrest a man. The new way is to deprive our count of his comfort, to go after his safe spaces, his very essence. They're not just fighting a criminal anymore. They're fighting a force of nature, and the tactics have to be just as elemental.
And the stakes, wow, they could not be higher. As Van Helsing explains, this isn't just about solving a case or getting revenge. If they fail, the entire city of San Francisco, all its lights, its people, its life, is going to be consumed by an endless, feeding darkness.
So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. When a man who only believes in bullets teams up with a man who believes in crosses, who really has to change more? Is it the hunters, who have to adapt their methods to a brand new reality, or is it the very nature of the hunt itself, which transforms from a simple case to be solved into a curse that must be broken?